Let's see if we can put together a good plan for using the information we have to create the business plan description and to create the business budget. Let's go looking for that business plan description. We're going to open up a Word document and look for the business plan template. We're looking for the business plan for a startup business. We know from the PowerPoint, what the plan looks like. So, oh, there it is right there. The business plan for a startup business. And sure enough, in the right-hand upper corner there, that looks like the plan that we've used already. Well, let's just go through this plan. We'll scroll through it and see that it's quite a comprehensive plan. It has lots of headings for different topics. This is a larger plan than we require because we have a very simple small business, and the rubric says that we can use the same headings in our business plan that we used in our draft prototype plan. So there's a lot more information and a lot more headings in this template that we've downloaded. A great thing about templates is they help us learn, and if we spent time looking carefully at each of these pages, we'd learn a whole lot about putting together a business plan. We could follow the guidelines of this template, and we would be probably not using everything. The rubric doesn't call, for instance, for a table of contents. Does it hurt to have one in there? It doesn't hurt at all. Sometimes just going through the questions that are asked in this template and answering them will cover for sure all of the items in the rubric. So a very good strategy might be to use the template to fill out and work on your business description, and then take the work you've done and compare it to the rubric. And I'm sure you'll find that you've got more than you need. This was our experience today when one of the members of the group created the business plan based on this template, and it had more than he needed. What about the business budget? Well, that same PowerPoint presentation pointed out that there is a 12-month cash flow template. So, knowing that we're looking for a cash flow template, let's search for cash flow, and we have again an idea from the PowerPoint what the one that works looks like. It's 12 months, it's cash flow, so as we go through each of the different possibilities, we're looking for a 12-month cash flow statement. This is going to help a lot in getting the terms right. Profit and loss, balance sheet, revenue and expense. All of these things are business terms, but like voltage, current, resistance, we can't mix them up. So we're looking for a cash flow statement. And let's take a look at what we get from the template. Again, more than we need. This is quite a comprehensive template, and there's notes available on how to prepare this full template. So I'm thinking when we take a look at the template, we can expect to have to do some trimming. There's more here in the budget than we need. This is a 12-month budget for a more sophisticated business than we're running. For instance, it looks like there's a long list of expenses that for our business we don't need to worry about, so we can make the cash flow statement more manageable by taking away those rows that we don't need. There's a lot in the expense rows that we can delete, and so we'll plan on doing that. The one of the ways that we can bring this budget down to size is to do that process of going through each of the rows and deciding, will we have any expenses, will we have any need for this particular row? If we keep in mind the categories of revenue and expense that we used with the prototype budget, that'll give us a good guideline for what needs to stay and what we can throw away. So that's a very good strategy. I think before we change a template, it's always a good idea to save a copy of it. We have the template, and we can come back to that starting point if we need to restart our work. But once we start deleting and changing, it's always a good idea to be able to get back to the original document. So we'll just create a copy that we can modify, and that way we're safe. It's always a good idea to make sure that you can go back and redo your steps if you need to. And the process begins of looking at the expense rows and taking out the ones that we don't need because our business doesn't have those expenses. And I think as we do that, we'll find that this once very large cash flow statement is coming down to quite a manageable size. One of the consequences sometimes of making large modifications to an Excel template is some of the formulas that were programmed into the original spreadsheet no longer make sense. And oftentimes Excel puts error messages in the cells to let us know that, hey, you've changed this and it's not going to work the way the original designer set it up. That's all right. We're smart and we're capable, and we can figure out, that it's not ruined when we change it. It's modified, and we'll have to, engage the gray matter a little bit and think about, how we can make it work for us again. Sometimes the big spreadsheet is a lot to take in, and often if we concentrate on a section of that, particularly this kind of a spreadsheet where this is for 12 months, well, we could concentrate on 1 or 2 months at a time and understand what's going on, and then literally copy that information to each of the other sites. Something that one strategy might be to create a blank worksheet that you can use to put your own touch to, so that you understand by writing some of the formulas yourself exactly what's going on. So let's see, when we look at this smaller number of rows and columns, we can see the changes we'd like to make and still use the wonderful formatting idea of the original template. I think as we narrow down the types of expenses, and we know that the rubric wants a monthly bank balance to appear, and the original template did that quite smartly. Well, we've lost the months on top of the spreadsheet, but we can put them back pretty easily, and we're seeing that this simple business is going to have cash receipts. People are going to pay for the service in cash, so that's all we need on the revenue or receipt side. And we have a list of typical expenses for a small professional services business: rent and computers and supplies and things like that. So we want to base this on the kind of business that writing proposals for people, writing business plans for people, and doing budgets for people. That's a very simple business, and we don't have a lot of expensive needs for that. So we'll get a very good list for 1 month of our cash flow, and we'll find that it's not a difficult job to copy the formulas and the other information for 12 months. The spreadsheet is getting smaller and smaller, and we're filling in more of the cells, putting some trial numbers in just to see, does it work? It's always easier to figure out a simpler spreadsheet. Does it work, and how does it work, than a more complicated one. So even if we did go back to the more complicated spreadsheet, we would have an idea by working with the simple one on how things work. I'm sure we solve problems like that all the time. We have a challenging big problem, but big problems can be mostly broken down, and the parts of the big problem can be worked on separately, and then we can put them all back together again to solve the big problem. Yeah, so this is turning out to be a very effective spreadsheet. We can use some of the formulas that other people programmed into the spreadsheet. For instance, that formula on the second row from the top that tells us the cash in the bank on hand at the beginning of the month. It's common sense that the cash that's on hand at the beginning of February is the same cash that was in the bank at the end of January. So it's a sneaky little formula that just says, well, I'm going to look at how much money you had in the bank at the end of last month, and that's going to be the amount of money that you have in the bank at the start of this month. And then when I add the money you've made from your cash receipts, and I subtract the money that you had to pay out in expenses, I'll get your money in the bank at the end of the month. Now, we're working on this as part of a business cash flow budget, but this same principle is one that helps anybody manage their bills and expenses, and make sure that in their personal life that they don't put too many expenses below the line that don't match up with being paid and sources of income above the line. So this worksheet is great to understand how small businesses do cash flow, but it's also excellent for our own use.